Hello, hello. Hey, hey, hey. Welcome out there, everybody. It's Latoya and it's,
Marissa.
yes, here we are with Making Spaces. It's your girls, it's your sisters. And we are bringing Making Spaces to you live once again. Happy Freedom Friday.
Yes, Freaky
Happy
Friday.
end of the week. Happy
Mhm.
beginning of your weekend. We are celebrating you, whatever it is that you have accomplished, whatever it is that you have succeeded in, whatever it is that you have grown in, whatever it is that you have realized. It's a day of celebration. So we are celebrating you. Hope that
Yes.
you are celebrating yourself.
Yes.
And today we're talking about making space.
Mhm.
How are we making space for whatever it is that we are desiring, what we are deserving of, what we are allowing, what we are receiving, what we are manifesting, what we are attracting, all the things, how are we making space in our lives for these things? And so, for the past couple of weeks, because we're in February, and so the past couple of weeks, we've been making space for the love and the relationships that we desire and we deserve, whether that be friendships or intimate relationships or whatever the case may be, we have been talking. So if you've missed any of those, you want to go back. You want to go back. You want to be on any one of our platforms, Facebook or LinkedIn. It's also on YouTube. So you want to go back, catch the previous two episodes because they have been fire. And I have received some good comments and feedback. So I'm so very appreciative of this space. What's going
Yeah.
on, Marissa? How are you? What's going on?
I'm great. I'm actually trying to compose myself because I'm having a really great day. um, so there's space for that as well, right? There's space for our excitement. There's space for our sadness, our anger, our whatever emotions that we may be expressing. And today, there's just celebration, right? um,
Mm,
I I realized I pulled a card. I pulled multiple cards today. The first card I
okay.
tried to ignore it, and it was like, no,
Well,
that's free. That's yours. I don't know why we're ignoring things.
we're like,
Um,
that's not the energy I want today.
and so the card that I pulled today, Nita, it's called feeling safe.
Okay.
Um, and the guidance that came along with the card, as soon as I read it, I was like, this is for me. It says, it is
Mm.
finally safe to be you. You have
Mm.
You have wandered through a dark night. Your trip has been long. There is light ahead. Your liberation is apparent. You deserve to feel secure. Feeling safe is knowing that your basic needs are met. Feeling safe is feeling at home in your body. Feeling safe is trusting your journey. Feeling safe is feeling free around those you love. Feeling safe is trusting that the sun will rise again. If you grew up
Mhm.
emotionally, spiritually, or physically unsafe, reset your default expectations to a healthier vibration.
Mm. Mm.
Oh, okay. That was the card for me. that that was for me because I feel very much in my body. I feel very
Mhm.
much aligned with my purpose. I feel very much supported. I feel very
Mhm.
much like um, just happy to be here and know that I'm making an impact. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, I am excited by that.
Mhm.
And one of the
Mhm.
the main reasons why I'm excited today is I finished my breathwork facilitation course
Mm.
this week, and
Congratulations.
thank you. I've already started teaching because it is in the practice that we get better, right?
Yeah.
But I have to get my hours in. So I
Mhm.
originally had posted a post on my stories like offering one-on-one sessions with folks, pay what you can, blah blah blah, and there was no traction on it. But then I sat with
Mhm.
myself and I was like, girl, you are an intimacy person, right?
Mm.
So send text messages. So
Mhm.
today I
Mhm.
was like, I'm going to set aside 30 minutes to send videos and audio messages and text messages to the people in my phone, and they're like, yes, sign me up, give me a session, would love this, right? And so just I say that to say, um, work in the lane that feels most authentic to you. Posting something on social media is great. It can be seen, it may not be seen, but people are out here wanting to support you and wanting what it is that you have to offer and wanting to share it.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm,
but you just find the right medium to share with them. And
mhm, mhm.
I had to really sit with myself and make the space to be intimate and connect with people. It might take a little bit longer than one post on Instagram, but it has a larger
Well,
impact. Yeah.
yes, yes. I love what you're sharing. We said hey, hey to Cheryl, who said hey to us, who's been watching. I I love that you pull a card before that you bring it to the session. And so I pulled a card just before the session too, and I was
Ooh.
thinking, let me see, because last time our cards were so aligned, right? They were about light, and I was like, let me see what's going to happen. And so I had to, but I want to show this one. And it says, relax the hold of darkness
Mm.
and be at cause. And I think I had the same kind of feeling. I was like, well,
That's not for me.
I
What are you talking
don't
about?
know. I don't know if that's for me. But it was all about. I'm not going to read it because it was kind of long, and I want to get into what we're going to get into today. But it was all about it's time. This is your time. No doubt, no fear, no more procrastination, no self sabotage. Like take the foot up, move forward, and shed that last level
Hmm.
of yourself.
Shake it off.
Shed that last level of yourself,
Hmm.
right? And in that shedding of the last level of yourself, don't hide who you are,
Mm.
right? Do
Mm.
not hide who you are.
Hmm. Come on,
Yeah.
reflector. Come on, reflect.
So you know what? Let me just do this. Let me just speak this because somebody may need to hear this today. Let me just speak this. There is a hold of darkness over every one of us, particularly women, because we have been under these ages of suppression and oppression for a long time, for a long time. And so
Hmm.
there is a hold of darkness, and even more so, right? Exasperatedly so if we've been through some form of trauma. Now, the statistic that I just read the other day is that globally, 1 in 3 women have experienced some kind of abuse, sexual
Mm.
assault, domestic violence, or physical abuse, some kind of abuse. 1 in 3, right?
Mm.
This is insane, which almost mirrors the number for the United States, which is 1 in 4. So I say that to right. So I say that to say that absolutely we have been through right? We have been through some shit. And so because of that, there's a hold of darkness. And so and at every level we get to shed a layer of that darkness. We get to release a layer of that darkness and step into our purpose, our cause, our light, the fullness of the core, the originality of who we
Mhm.
are. And so I just
Mhm.
want to encourage somebody today that that is the word for you today, that take this weekend, take some time, right? A lot of times we kind of get stuck because we're like, man, I need to be there, right? I need to be healed. I need to be whole. I need to be free, right? I need, like, I need a quantum leap there right now.
Yeah.
But today I want to celebrate the layers of success, right?
Yes.
The like, you have been working through your progress, working through, offering, and today is another layer of success, right?
Hmm.
Where
Hmm.
you've completed. But it isn't that you haven't been achieving this success along the way, right? And the same for our healing process. Today is a day of celebration. Today is a day of success. Today is a day of progression. Today is a day of victory on which you can build. So, whoo, I had to release that. That had to come out. That had to come out, Marissa. That had to come out. Okay,
Yes.
now
Okay, let's get into it.
that being out, today we're talking about. Hold on, let me get my captions. Today we're talking about making space for the love you desire, and is it about your energy, right?
Hmm.
Is it about your energy, and what all is happening? And I'm excited to see what else is going to happen because true to our nature, we're going to allow things to flow.
Yeah.
But I know that it was our desire and your intent to talk about your experience
Hmm.
um, in your energy healing session, in your Reiki
Yes.
session. So
Yes. Here we go.
here we
So
go.
here we go. I don't remember where I was feeling the stuck energy. It might have been in my belly or my back or something like that. But I was very uncomfortable. This was right before Christmas. And I had reached out to Latoya and I was like, "Hey, girl, I just I'm having this issue in my body, and it feels energetic in my
It was
chest.
actually
Wasn't
in your chest. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was like, I can't shake it. I know that it's energetic. I know that I'm not eating anything weird, or I haven't done anything with my body weird, and just wanted to get some advice, right? And Latoya has sent me some just a couple of audio messages. One, just knowing that I was supported, and also two, that she offered a Reiki session, and I was just like, yes, yes, please. Yes, please. Because, I had just moved to New Orleans from New York, traveled down here in October, moved everything, my whole life. And when I got here, I had a retreat that I was helping run. And then I had a friend that was staying with me not only in my house, but in my bed as well. And, excuse me. So I am used to having free space. I live alone usually. And so I was, excuse me, overwhelmed, right? I had developed hives. Like, it was a whole situation. But I know when my body is talking to me and that I have to move some energy. So we had this Reiki session right before Christmas, the day before Christmas, I believe. And I felt bad because I was like, I know it's before the holidays. I know you have family, blah, blah, blah. But in my mind, I was like, Marissa, Latoya offered. So you said you want to be more open to receiving, right?
Mm.
And so
Say that. Say
I
that.
wanted to be more open to receiving and making space to receive, because I could be the person, usually I'm the person that my friends call and be like, hey, this is going on. And I'm offering solutions and help and support and healing and stuff like that. So the fact that it's coming to me now, what do I get to do with it? So I was like, yes, this time works for me. And we get into the session, and the first thing I remember is starting in my, I don't know if we spoke about it first, but starting in my root area. I remember you saying, like, you just felt like like stuck. There was
Yes.
just like a little ball, like stuck there. And we started going through a visualization meditation. And what I do remember, I feel, I don't know about y'all. I feel very witchy sometimes, and it felt like standing around a cauldron, just throwing whatever I was holding on to into this fire,
Mhm,
right?
mhm, mhm.
And um, I remember when we were talking afterwards, there was so much that came up, and I'm trying to like keep all the pieces together, and I don't remember the order of how things were coming up, but I remember us talking after, and when you shared something with me about, as soon as I was able to clear the energy up in my root, like every other chakra just kind of burst open. And that for me made so much sense, because I had been uprooted for quite some time. Like, I decided
Mm.
to move to New Orleans in August. I sold all of my things in September, I jumped in my car October 1st and drove down to New Orleans. And ever since
Mm,
then, I had been like sleeping in hotels or like at my friend's house, sometimes sharing a bed or a space, sometimes having my own. But I had just gotten a new dog and my friend was traveling with me. And then I went into this retreat and then somebody else was staying at my house. And I'm just like, I didn't take the time
excuse me.
to commune in nature. I didn't take the time to sit with myself as often as I used to, right?
Hmm.
I was getting
Hmm.
up early in the morning to walk my dog instead of sitting with myself like I usually do. So I was doing a lot of things outside of myself and not making space for me.
Hmm.
And my
Hmm.
body
Hmm.
was like, absolutely not.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and
Ooh.
I, I think the pain in my chest was like, you need to love on you right now. What is going on?
Yes. 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 And can I just, so I want to say something because this is really, I hope the people who are listening are like really starting to connect some things with themselves because this happens often that people will feel a heaviness in a certain place, right? A heaviness and sometimes a physical pain,
Mhm,
which you were experiencing like really, it was really somatic. It was really, visceral for you.
mhm,
And yet when we went into the energetic space, the root chakra is your body, this is what I tell people, your body's going to tell us,
mhm,
right? Your body's going to tell us where the root of it is, where actually is the energy stuck.
mhm,
And so I will have people come and say, well, I think I feel unclear, or I feel like, my solar plexus, or I feel, confidence, I feel this. And then when we go in and the body's like, actually, here's where the energy's really stuck. And it's really, I love that you're bringing it to the reality of what was going on with you, because interestingly enough, you were feeling uprooted, and the energy was feeling maybe a little bit chaotic and here and there and everywhere.
mhm.
And as a result of that, you weren't you didn't have the space and time, you weren't taking the space and time to really love on yourself, right? Which is
Mhm,
where that's where that energy lives.
mhm.
Unconditional love for yourself, and outflowing from that unconditional love for others, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so look how very connected they were. The fact that you were uprooted and here, there, and everywhere, and then your heart was like, help, help. Right.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
also, it felt
Yeah.
like I was being suffocated, right? It felt like I wasn't. First of all, there was so many things. It was like, take
Mhm.
care of yourself. You are
Mhm.
extending yourself too much. But I was extending
Mhm.
myself too much and not saying no. I was not telling
Mm.
people no. So it first started with the hives, right?
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
knew when my friend asked to stay with me, my body said no immediately,
Mm.
but I didn't listen.
So, what would
And
your message be to the listeners right now? What would you?
yes, and when it comes to making space, make space to hear what your body is saying and listen to it, right? I know it doesn't feel nice or like the nice thing to do to say no to someone that you care about and you know that that you can do this for them, like you're capable of it,
Right.
and all of that
Mm.
kind of jazz, and you love them.
And you
But
love them.
and yeah, but you have to listen to what your body is saying. And me being a generator, it is like a yes no immediate,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I ignored it.
And can I
Go
say
ahead.
something real quick? That formula, ooh, I gotta say this right now. That formula right there is poison for a
Mhm.
lot of people. That formula right there is poison. The the formula of excuse me, the formula of I have the means and I love this person. So that is supposed to, or I care, right? I care. I'm a caring person. And for some people, that part is I'm a caring person, or this is the right thing to do. This is the kind thing to do. This is the Christian or Muslim or Jew, whatever the belief is. This is the that thing to do, right? This is the righteous thing to do. And that combination can be deadly for people because there are so many other factors in the background. Because you have the means and because you care and because it's the socially or religious acceptable thing to do, does not mean that it is the thing to do that is most in alignment for you and them. Let me just say
Mhm.
that.
Thank you.
For you and them, because they are
Mhm.
not necessarily in alignment with themselves either, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So I'm so glad that this. Ooh, if you don't listen to nothing else on this podcast, please hear this. That formula is so deadly, and
Yeah.
there's a piece missing, right? It's not one
Yeah.
plus one equals two. It's one plus one and an X factor.
Yeah.
And what I'm
Yeah.
hearing you say is that big X factor is your intuition,
Yes.
your truth,
Yes.
your body.
Yeah. 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 And when you said poison, absolutely, right? I told you the first kind of warning was the hives, right? And at
Mm.
first, I'm not really into, not necessarily I'm not into Western medicine, but I feel like there's things in the earth that can help you through almost every ailment, right?
Right.
And so it got to a point where I was like, I have to go to the emergency room, right? And so I go to
Mm-hmm.
urgent care, and they can't tell me where it stemmed from. They can't tell me what's going on. They can issue me some steroids, and I was like, no,
Right.
no, thank you,
Right.
and some
Right.
antibiotics, right? No, thank you, because then
Mm-hmm.
there's things I
Mm-hmm.
have to do to flush that out of my system as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this is not to say anything wrong with, if that's what you choose, that is your choice. For
Right.
me,
Right.
it is not my choice. So it helped me connect with people that I hadn't connected with before, like an herbalist. And she had
Mm.
been in my community and in the ether for quite some time, but we hadn't connected. As soon as I reached out to her, she got on the phone with me and was like, oatmeal paste, take this kind of bath, do this, da 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 da. And
Mm-hmm.
that was really helpful. And it was also a moment for me to down, sit down,
Mm.
sit down and take care of yourself, right?
And take care of yourself.
And so I did that, and another friend of mine, we got really close because she was like, take a picture of yourself like this as a
Mm.
reminder when you want to say no, and you
Ooh.
don't trust yourself, you don't listen. Here's a reminder of what happens.
Of what can happen. That is powerful.
Yeah.
That is powerful. And I just need to say how powerful that is because so often we don't see ourselves.
Hmm.
We
Yeah.
don't see ourselves.
Yep.
Oh
And
man,
once oh, sorry.
no, no, go ahead, go ahead.
No, and once we make it through, we forget
We
about
forget.
the lesson, right? The lesson keeps coming back around is because we make it through, and we're like, thank God we made it through. Now let me keep on acting
Let
like
me.
this because I made it through. Like, no, you get to make a change, right?
You get to
Or
make a
the lesson
change.
is coming back again.
Mm-hmm.
The lesson is
Mm-hmm.
always coming back again. Is if you decide to be different the next time that the lesson comes up,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
And so
Right.
the lesson came back up, and I wasn't speaking up because I had, I was living with someone who they beautiful person, love them, but it just I wasn't speaking up. I wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Mm-hmm.
still was ignoring taking care of myself in the way that I know I could. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's when the chest pain started to come.
Mm.
So when I had my Reiki session, after this session, we talked about like just throwing whatever that in it, like it was like there was a wall up. Now I remember. This is coming
Yes.
back to me. There was a wall up,
Yeah.
and you were like
Yeah.
brick by brick, throw it into the fire. Thank it. Thank you for being here. Thank you, lesson, all of that stuff, but throw it into the fire. And you gave me some time to imagine and throw those bricks into the fire until the end, where it's like there's a little bit left of this wall. Just knock it down. It's over, right?
Yeah.
And just um, allow your energy to allow yourself to be free of whatever is holding you back. And
Mm-hmm.
that was a way of making space for me, because as soon as we got
Mm.
off, we spoke, and I remember you talked about a hydrangea was coming up for you, a blue
Yeah.
hydrangea, specifically blue.
Yes.
And I was going to go find myself one, but it reminded me of this necklace, which I broke the chain while I was um, traveling down here from New York. Um, but I went out and immediately found something else to put it put it on. But I used to wear this every day. And when the chain popped, I realized that there was a bit of a shift in me.
Mm,
And this
mm,
is a blue calcite. It supported me through my self love and awareness journey 2 years ago when I purchased it, and this is just another cycle for me that it can help me
mhm,
with. Right, so this is for calm, direct communication, um, and me wearing it. It's not to say that all of my everything is going to be healed by wearing a stone, but
mm,
the stone is a reminder. The stone is a supporter in my journey, right? And so
right.
as soon as you said that blue hydrangea, I thought about this and why haven't I been wearing it? Oh, because I popped the chain. I need to find something else. And you was like immediately, yes, that makes sense to me. Yes, find a chain for it. And so I immediately went out and asked for a chain. I was like, what else do I need? I need to get outside, get some fresh air. I need mangoes. I would eat a mango every day. Like, what is going to nourish my mind, my body, my
Mhm.
everything? And so I went by a local shop. It was closed, but they let me in because I know the owner. I was like, I need mangoes and I'm hungry. I'm hungry right now. I need mangoes and I need a chain. Which one of those things could you give me?
Yeah.
And yeah, it made enough space for me to open up my mouth and say what I needed and to give my body
Mm,
what it needed that day.
that
That
day.
yeah, yeah. So that was my experience with my Reiki session. It was great. It was exactly what I needed to get to move my body to be like, girl,
Mhm.
you're not stuck. You're not a victim. You you can you can make a change right now if that's what you
Right
want.
now, right
Yeah.
now. And I love that. I love that. I typically tell my clients, listen, because when that energy moves, you get clarity,
Hmm.
right? Exactly what you get. And some people are like, sometimes they're thinking that this clarity is going to come like, oh, no, I know exactly what to do with all of my finances from the time that, from the beginning of time until like I die. And that may not be it. The clarity that came to you was like, okay, I need to get this stone back on in my life. And I need to go get mangoes. I need to nourish myself. Like the things that we think are simple
Hmm.
are powerful.
Hmm. Hmm.
The things that we think, okay, it popped, it's just a chain, right? Like, not saying that you thought that way, but sometimes we think the things that are simple and not really of major importance, and the things that we think are of major importance, right? Sometimes they are,
Yep.
they're the flip.
Hmm.
They're the flip.
Hmm.
And so I often tell them, okay, so clarity's going to come. You're open now. Go do what your body's asking you to do.
Hmm.
Whatever
Hmm.
your body's asking you to do, go do it. And for some people, that's sleep. For some people, most people, they feel the need to go be in nature again. Um, and I'm so grateful and I commend you for actually doing that, for actually listening to your body and saying, and moving in that energy, because I firmly believe that every victory breeds another victory,
Hmm.
right? So when we say yes to what we think is super simple, like just stepping out into your porch and taking a deep breath and seeing something green, right? Like that's a victory. And that's going to give birth to another victory, another step, another clarity. And that's
Hmm.
going to give birth to and so this is what I think what we're talking about here, about making space, right?
Hmm.
Like taking each step one after the other to make
Hmm.
space in your life. A lot of times, we've been talking for the past few weeks, making space for positive, aligned relationships.
Yes.
And, and we've been talking about some pretty deep and powerful things. And so a lot of times people are like, oh man, I need to go, whatever it is, I need to cut this off. And these are some really major steps, and
Yeah.
they are important. But sometimes it starts with, let me go get that mango. Let me go nourish my body, right?
Yeah.
Let me okay, let me just sit under this tree
Yeah.
and let more clarity come to me, right?
Yep.
Let me put this stone on that reminds me
Mm-hmm.
of the healing that I've had in the past, or that reminds me that I can say that reminds me that I can free up my voice.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put this thing back on. And then that actually gives me more courage to actually now say what I need. And then I've said what I needed. And now that gives me more courage to actually kick your ass out. Now, this,
Sometimes.
well, I mean,
Sometimes. Yeah.
sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, and lock this door and change the locks, right?
Yes.
But that's what I mean, like the momentum.
Mm-hmm. 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 That's exactly what happened. It was the momentum because I'm telling you, my friend was observing me from outside as we went to go get the mangoes and get
Mm.
some food and whatever. And she was like, "Whatever you said you wanted today, you just got it." And I was like, "Yeah, that's I already know that." And I need to remind myself, and I'll remind you all who are listening or who are going to be listening on the replay, like whatever you say you can have, you have to believe that that is yours,
You
right?
have to
I
believe
believe
that.
that I would, like, the grocery stores are not open for, like, at a certain time. They close early for Christmas Eve or whatever, but I go to
Hmm.
this restaurant that sells fruit bowls and I'm like, hey, I need a mango a day, how many you got? And they was like, I got like 7. All right, how much is it? They was like, how much do you want to pay? And I was like, what? $12. I don't know. And then I got an extra mango because they was like, oh, we
Wow.
miscounted. There's 8. And so I got what I desired, right? And she was like, and I'm talking, and now I'm sitting in a chair like a boss. I got mangoes. I my food. They
Go
made me a
ahead,
delicious.
Queen.
Okay, they made me a delicious sandwich that was like a, what was it, jackfruit and mushrooms. It was delicious, and some fries. Everything was fresh. I got my leg cocked up on the table, and I'm just chatting. I'm just like doing, like, I'm feeling like I'm a boss in the place. And yeah, it just, the little simple things, once you just decide, like,
Hmm. Hmm.
this is I get to move differently, right? And
Yeah.
also going outside. The one little thing, like you said, is if you just open your door and step outside and see
Hmm.
something green,
Hmm.
or just have that wind brush up against your face, that
Yeah.
right there can change your whole next part of your life, your day, your
Yes.
next moment, what have you. But yeah, that session really put some things into perspective, and I feel like my grandmother came and spoke to me during that time as well. I don't remember everything, but I feel like she was
Hmm.
there as well.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but if you have not experienced a Reiki session with our good sis, Latoya, and I know, like, I was a bit skeptical about virtual Reiki and, like, how does
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
work? I know
And
a lot
most
of
people
people
are.
are. Yeah, I know a lot of
Most
people
people
are.
are.
But I've had virtual Reiki before. This one was just a little bit different because I was in a space that I was just like, I don't know what's happening with me, and I need to figure that out.
Hmm. Hmm.
Previously, it was
Hmm.
just like, I would love to just clear my energy and whatever. It was just like a whatever kind of thing. But
Yeah.
this was
Yeah.
very intentional, and I got exactly what I needed. So definitely recommend. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Mm.
Thank you.
You're so very welcome. You're so very welcome. And it, it, I am honored. I am honored. I'm honored every time, but I'm honored. And I'm specifically honored. I've always been this way, even when I was in the military. I love skeptical people. I'm like, bring them to me. Bring them to me. Bring them to me. You skeptical? Yes, I am the one. Come, let's
Yes,
get this.
I love
Let's
that
get
energy.
this.
Yes.
And so I love that. I love that. And I tell people, it's interesting that even for some people, the virtual session is more powerful than the face to face session.
Hmm.
I don't
Hmm.
have the answer as to why, um, but I just know that it is.
Hmm.
I just know that it is. And I know
Hmm.
that energy movement is powerful. And I know that energy movement can really, really set the tone, set the atmosphere for making space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'm so appreciative of you sharing your experience. I typically don't ask people to because I know this is a very personal space,
Yeah.
but you were so willing. You were like, "Let me share. Let me let the people know."
Yeah, you got to. I think that so this is the way that I am like designed. Not to necessarily say human design, but just human design also. But I am designed to be transparent. Like my lead gate is transparency, intimacy,
Mm.
right? And so as
I feel that from
uncomfortable,
you, by the way.
yeah, yeah, as
I feel that from
uncomfortable
you.
as it may be to tell your story, sometimes that is exactly what needs to is the
Yes.
thing that you get to bring to a space, right? And so with me being able to tell my story or me being open and transparent about my experiences, it allows other people to do the same. So it makes
Hmm.
space for other people to share their experiences or to
Yeah.
at least know that they're not the only person that has had something similar or something resonates with them. Um,
Hmm.
and so I kind of, it's still taking some getting used to, but I kind of
Yeah.
put my life on display, really. Like I just said this in another live right before this is like, I get to be the first partaker in the healing work that I do for other people. Right.
Yeah.
And so if I'm preaching about the way I eat, or about the different things that I put into my body, what kind of music I listen to. If I'm teaching about the law of giving and receiving through my mastermind, right?
Hmm.
I get to live this out and I get to
Yeah.
express how I am living this out, right?
Yeah.
And so bringing that back to when you offered to give me a session and I'm sitting here like, I don't know, this is not the right. Am I living? Am I embodying this law that I'm teaching? Right? And if
Right.
I'm not,
Right.
then I can't be teaching it. That doesn't make sense. And
Right.
anybody who's doing it is getting over big time. You're going to be found out anyway,
You're
right?
gonna be found out.
Found
You
out.
absolutely are.
Yeah.
You
So
absolutely are.
yeah, I get to walk in this way of living that I am sharing with other people, so
Hmm.
that they know that it's possible for them too. And even the negative parts, right? Like not negative, the difficult parts, the
Yeah.
challenging
The
parts,
challenging
the
parts.
uncomfortable parts, like me having like chest issues or heart issues or whatever was going on. That part was not fun. It was not fun to
Hmm.
share it, and we are just now forming a friendship and relationship. And for me, it was very vulnerable for me to be like, "Hey, I know you do this work. Is this? Can I ask this question?" Right?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
So so yeah, it is really a part of how I get to show up in the world and how I get to find my abundance out here.
Right.
It's
Right.
sharing. Yeah.
And I love that because I myself I'm attracted to people who are authentic and who are transparent, right?
Hmm.
And and I really just love that you're sharing this because everybody, Marissa does breath work, right?
Yeah.
And so how the hell can you do breath work if you're not transparent, right? Breath work, listen, your breath is going to find you out. your
Yeah.
breath, your breath,
Yeah.
the way you breathe is
Hmm.
going to tell on you, right?
Yeah.
So there's no way,
Yeah.
it couldn't even be, right?
Exactly.
It couldn't
It'll
even
tell
be.
where you're holding things, where you're holding back, right? I can tell you a lot of times when I am practicing breath work either on myself
Mhm.
with another facilitator or even when I'm teaching in a session, I start feeling um,
Mm.
this tingly feeling in my on my lips, and it is something called tetany, and you can feel tingles in your fingers, in your toes, and other parts of your body,
Mhm.
and it it is just the amount of carbon dioxide that you're breathing out is not it's how do I say this? You're breathing in more oxygen than you are breathing out carbon dioxide,
Mm.
if that makes any sense.
Right,
Uh,
right.
but for me, the tingling is taking place on my lips because it's like, girl, you need to. Are we speaking or not? Are we holding things back? Why? What are we doing? Right? And
Mhm.
you may
Mhm.
feel it in your hands, like you're not creating. What are you doing? Kind of thing, right?
Mm.
Like when you said the breath is going to find you out or it's going to tell on
Yeah.
you, it is
Yeah.
exactly that. Like I feel these
Yeah.
tingles in my lips because I'm not, and it's not like I'm not sharing at all, but it
Right.
is like, what are you hiding, Marissa? What are you not being transparent about, right? How, these are the things that are, these are tools. Your voice is a tool for
Mm-hmm.
you, for
Mm-hmm.
your
Mm-hmm.
business. So
Mm-hmm.
you get to use it. What
Yeah.
are you not saying? And even while
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a session, a breathwork session, why am I resisting what is intuitively coming to me to say?
Mm.
Right? And so yes,
Mm-hmm.
the breath will find you out.
It
We'll
will
tell
find you out. Oh yeah. It's gonna out you. It's gonna,
you.
it's gonna out you.
Yeah.
So
Um,
we are at time.
yes.
Overtime. But
Yes.
but we have so much fun.
Yes.
We have
Yes.
so much fun. I'm gonna just share the takeaways that
Yes.
I wrote down. Um, Number one, know when your body, listen to your body. Like as simple as that. Listen to your body. And if you and a lot of us have been disconnected for a long
Mm-hmm.
time for whatever reason, because of trauma, because we're pushing, because we got to be the strong black woman, because we got to be the strong woman, because we got to be the strong woman we're the only woman in the room, right? Like for whatever reason. And so now it's time to get back in touch with your body,
Mm-hmm.
reconnect with your body,
Mm-hmm.
and listen to your body,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, that's number one. Listen to your body. That was powerful for me. Being open to receiving, which is another challenging for one for us when we've got to be the strong woman, carrying the legacy and making things work and making things happen. And we're giving, 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 giving. We're blessing, 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 blessing,
Mm-hmm.
and we're supporting, 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 and 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 we're not
Receiving.
allowing ourselves to receive.
Yes, allowing
Huge.
yourself
It's
to receive.
huge. It's huge. When you're making space in your life for more aligned relationships, it's huge making
Yeah.
space to receive. And then the
Yes.
third one was sometimes the block is not where you think it is.
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it may be manifesting in one way,
Mm-hmm.
but the root or the depth of it is somewhere else. And
Mm-hmm.
and that could be with pain.
Mm-hmm.
That could be with whatever symptoms are surfacing. That could be with whatever emotions that are running. Um, so it would behoove you, anyone listening, it would behoove you to
Mm-hmm.
get your energy checked. So
Yeah.
with that being said, if you want to connect with Marissa, who does fantastic, phenomenal breath work, um, phenomenal breath work. She's got quite a few things going on. That's all on her
Mm-hmm.
website. Her website's up on the screen. Let me say it for those who are listening: thepurplekittyny.com. I'll say it again: thepurplekittyny.com. So visit her website, find out all the things. She's got some local face-to-face things going on as well, and some virtual things going on. So visit her website. And then if you're interested, I'm giving a free 15-minute energy check for yeah, I know you froze. You froze for a minute, Marissa, but I
Yes.
got your back.
Yes.
I got your back. Yes. And so there's my website, latoyazavala.com. If you're interested in a free energy check, I'm going to do a free energy check, and then we'll decide where to go from there so that you can get your Reiki session going so that you can be on your way to connecting again with your body and knowing where the energy is stuck and just clearing that energy. So we are here for you. We're here for you. And so thank you for spending your time with us. Thank you for spending your space with us. Share this because somebody else needs to hear this. So
Yes.
share this link, and we will be here next Friday making space for the things that we love and we desire and we deserve.
Oh, it's okay if you missed it. Listen to the replay. It was so good.
Oh, somebody
Okay.
missed it. Oh.
We'll be back next
Good.
Friday.
We'll be back next Friday. Good evening, good night, good afternoon, wherever you are. Don't worry, the replay is going to be there. We're going to close it down, but the replay is going to be there. Listen to the replay because it is good, it is
Yes.
powerful.
Yes.
Powerful takeaways as usual. And we'll be here next Friday, 4:30
Yep.
p.m. Eastern time. Come see us. Okay, they said they'll do the replay. Listen, sending you love,
Mm,
hugs. Have a fantastic weekend. What would you
mhm.
like to say, Marissa? Give the people some love for this weekend.
Oh, that's just the gift of breath, y'all. Just breathe.
Yeah, just breathe.
Yeah, just breathe
That's
and
good.
know. Just breathe and know that. Oh, actually, I do want to say the gift of breath. Yes, but the next person that you love and you usually support, when they offer you support the next time, say yes,
Ooh, that's good.
yes, and
Ooh,
thank you.
that is so good.
That's
Yes.
it.
Yes. Take a deep breath and breathe out and just say yes.
Yes,
That's
I
good.
would appreciate that. Thank you. Yep.
That is so good.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We're going to go ahead and end. Have a wonderful weekend. We will see you next Friday. Same time, same place.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.